Now, 2 policemen of the Mensa station suffered injuries after they were allegedly attacked at Teman in the Greater Accra region. Now, the personnel say they had gone to the community to arrest a man accused of fraud, but family members and neighbors of the suspect attacked the police officers with sticks and other objects. And one of the policemen was hit in the head, leaving him with a cut. Police say the suspect and his son are currently on the run, but his daughter is in their grips for locking up a door and taking part in the attack. I'll be talking to Adam Bona on this, but here is Maxwell Agbagba, who went there, and here is the report he's brought.
I've met the 2 policemen at the Mensa police station. The inspector, who was in charge of the team, has bruises on his chest. His colleague is wearing a red cap. He's using it to cover the big plaster on his head. In his left hand is a white polythene bag containing the receipt of a head scan from a laboratory. The inspector says at a point he had to jump a wall in order to open the gates to the house, which had been locked.
The team reached at the said house of the man and met him and show him the warrant of arrest that he is supposed to be taken to the police station for further action. But the man resisted and told us that he would never go to any place, and he decided to leave us to his room. That was the period where I held him and told my men to handcuff him. But in the process, the household emerged from nowhere together with some of the neighbors, came and attacked the police. In the process, the man managed to escape with the handcuff, whilst one of the wrists was handcuffed. In the process, one of the assailants hit one of my men, and in the process injured him with a deep cut on the head. They managed to escape with our magazine when one of my men decided to give warning shot. In the process, he removed the magazine in order to give another, but they took hold of the magazine, which was loaded with 8 live ammunitions. In fact, the men, numbering about 6, together with 5 women, pounced on us mercilessly. And when we were about to run for our life, one of the ladies locked us in the house. And in fact, the assault became intense. I managed to scale over the wall and opened the gate and threw one of my men who was being assaulted into a taxi. There that I turned out and held the one who was injured by the head, who by then the blood was oozing.
Pictures seen by JoyNews show one of the officers in a plastic chair with his uniform soaked in blood and a deep cut on his bald head. He says the son of the suspect hit his head with a stick in an attempt to prevent him from handcuffing his father.
Before I turned like this, I saw a guy with a wood. That we should leave the man, we should leave. Immediately, oh, he hit my head with the wood. So that time, blood is coming plenty. So I didn't try to give one shot, but the gun is not firing. I don't know the reason why. I'm feeling headache. I went to, the day that the thing happened, we went to Danfa Hospital. They stitched the date in the...
Ayi Mensah Abokobi District Commander Superintendent Edward Tete says a police communication device and a magazine were taken from the police and returned after 3 days.
We were able to retrieve our magazine with 7 rounds of ammunition and then the Gota sets. Yeah, they took it from our men. You know, they were attacked in an enclosed environment. And during the scaffold, they were able to take the magazine and then the handset from the men. Hopefully by Wednesday, Thursday, they should be in court.
A daughter of the suspect has been accused of locking the doors and contributing to the attack. She has denied the allegation.
I told them it is late, so they should leave and allow my father to report at the police station the next day. We were pleading and did not want our father to be handcuffed. There was a scuffle followed by a warning shot. I saw a lot of people in our house. The situation escalated. I did not lock the door. It is an automatic lock. We did not prevent them. I was begging them not to arrest my father because it was late in the evening.
Police says it is on a manhunt for 2 of the people who are complicit in this attack. The public relations officer of the Accra Regional Police, DSP Efiatenge, says the police would not hesitate to deal with the perpetrators.
It was very unfortunate for a police officer who was embarking on a lawful duty to be attacked in this manner. Is unacceptable, it is unjustifiable, and it must be condemned. And since then, several arrests to get them arrested has proved futile. However, 2 of them have been arrested by the local police, and they will be arraigned before court soon. And also, but the main suspects in whose name the court issued this warrant of arrest has absconded, and that the police is still on a manhunt for him. There was no provocation of a sort as far as I'm concerned. It was only to effect a lawful arrest, and they resisted, in the process, as I said, called in people, and because they outnumbered the police officers, they managed to beat them up. This is a warning. Every attack on any police officer is an attack on the entire nation and is an attack on every citizen of this land. And in all efforts, it must be condemned. Nobody has a right to attack a police officer who is on his or her lawful duty. And that is what we must take note. They will also be arraigned before court for the attack on the police officer, for the court in its own wisdom to look at this and also prefer the necessary punishments to whoever I believe the punishment is due.
DSP Efiatenge speaks for the Greater Accra Police. They're ending that report by Maxwell Agbagba. Indeed, nobody, absolutely nobody has a right to attack the police when they are on their performing their lawful duties. Well, sometime last month, a commercial bus driver and his mate allegedly assaulted a police officer at Waja, a suburb of Accra. That case is still pending in court. We can talk about the Ahmed Swale situation, that when the suspect, when police, according to the CID boss, Mami Tiwa, tried to arrest the suspect, and the kind of attack, or she said, came upon the police officers there. Adam Bona is still with me via Skype. Let's get talking about this. Well, before that, let's take you back to that particular story about the attack on that police officer by the driver and his conductor. So that is just a very quick reminder of what has been happening. I mean, this is not the first case of police being assaulted by civilians. Well, let's get Adam Bona talking on this as well. Adam Bona, you followed this story, and you've just heard the story that Max Olagbagba has just reported on from Mensa. What do you see is happening from an expert perspective, looking at the other similar cases that we've recorded in this country?
Well, yes, thank you very much. The act of lawlessness, I must say, has creeped so much into our society. It's unfortunate. My sympathy to the police officers and police officers who have been attacked, performing their lawful duty. I mean, this is something that shouldn't happen, but it has to do with how low society, I mean, we have gotten to, so much so that a warrant is issued by a competent court of jurisdiction. The police has to act on the warrant and effect an arrest, and the community or the people around don't simply understand that the police are there to perform a task mandated by the Constitution, bestowed on them to act upon that. It's reprehensible. It shouldn't be happening. It has to do with probably society. How many of us are aware that the police cannot actually keep you beyond 48 hours? How many of us are aware that one of the safest places to be sometimes is at the police station or the police cells? People have been chased into police stations, and they have to, the police has to push them into police cells for their own life, to save their own, skin. And so for me, it looks like a lot of education must go on. People must understand that the police is not there to probably brutalize us. When they do, let's talk about it. But when they are out there to perform lawful duties, we should allow them to perform their lawful duties. People have no right to do that.
Right. And in this case, people have no right to do that. First of all, you have no right to even assault somebody else, let alone a police officer who is doing his duty. But how do you think is the best way for the police to respond in this case? To descend heavily on people who do this to serve as a deterrent, or to rather go on what you're saying, more softer approach? Educate the people more, let them understand. Which one will work better in this case?
As for descending on the people, I won't go for it. I think, they would have to start with, first of all, educating the people. The people must know that the police are there to protect us. The police are there to perform lawful functions. And when the police fault, let's take them on. But taking them on doesn't mean act of violence against the police. It's reprehensible. But that notwithstanding, whilst asking the police to educate the citizens, we must know that when we buy guns and bullets and ammunition and vehicles for the police, we buy it with the taxpayers' money, and therefore I'm expecting the police officers. I mean, it is something bestowed on every human by God, self-defense, that let's remember, when you attack police officers, the day they decide to defend themselves, probably people might lose their lives, and that would be regrettable. And so for me, one thing I've always called for is that the police should be able to defend itself adequately. If the police can defend itself adequately, then me, as an ordinary citizen of this country, I am sure that police officers in this country can defend me. But if police officers are helpless, they are being beaten, they are being killed, just like that, then it tells you that the law probably is no longer going to be in existence. So whilst urging that the police should educate all of us, let us know that educating the citizens, that the police can arrest you, but they cannot keep you unduly. They can't do anything to you. They have to present you before court. But when they come under attack, I think they should use what they call minimum force to neutralize the situation, not descend on the people.
Well, here is a scenario.
Minimum force.
Here's a scenario, Mr. Bona, and finally, before I let you go, here is a scenario where they say they were attacked in an enclosed area. First of all, they tried to, fire warning shots, but then the magazine, is taken over by the people because obviously there's just two of them, and these people are about, from what they say, numbering to, getting to about 10. So the pouncing on them, I mean, do you think this has anything to do with training? Because if you're going to arrest somebody, perhaps you should begin to look at, you know, the space, how you can maneuver. Should there be some of these the attacks happening?
Well, you know, I've called into question intelligence gathering. First of all, a warrant was issued for this guy's arrest. And when you hear that a warrant has been issued for somebody's arrest, it means that the person has failed to appear in court to answer for some charges before the court. And therefore, the court would issue a warrant for that person to be brought before it. And so this person simply probably has no regard for the court itself, let alone the police. And therefore, I have called into question sometimes intelligence gathering. Why did 2-3 police officers go there? In other places, they have their radios. And when you are going to do this type of arrest, I don't even know what the person's crime is or suspected crimes are. But if it is fraud, it means that this person might be well connected. So they could have gone in with probably heavily...
It involves the sales of land. It involves the sales of land.
Well, yes. So you know who you are dealing with. If it involves sale of land, you and I know. I mean, your viewers know the issues of land guards. This person probably is a serial, you know, fraudster who has been defrauding people, selling lands. And also this person probably knows everyone around the area. And so once you know it has to do with the sale of land, you don't go and arrest a land guard with probably 2-3 police officers. You go there with a whole battalion to arrest him, because chances are that these land guards don't work as lone fraudsters. They work in a network. And so you go there, yes, with a whole battalion, take them siege, arrest them, you know, make sure the law works. But when you go in to arrest the person as if you are going to arrest some trader in her little room, I think sometimes training is very important. Gathering intelligence, making sure that they share the information with their other people on patrols to help with some of these things. Yeah. Or else we are going to see repeats of these situations.
Hopefully not. Mr. Bona, thank you so much for your time this afternoon and for your expert view, helping us to bring this matter into perspective. Adam Bona there helping us with his perspective. Indeed, the police, from his view, should not open itself up unnecessarily to some of these attacks.